Anybody who knows me knows I'm not a huge fan of grass. So because we just moved into this house, I decided to take out this whole section of lawn and replace it with some unique things. There was an old orchard that was started here, so I added to that. And in this section here, the whole piece has been planted with wildflowers. Eventually, this is going to be a wildflower garden with its own beehive right in the center. Perfect for homesteading.
That is a good idea. Now, I know so many people that are struggling with grass. If you were sick of the struggle, this is an option, and it's an option that a lot of people wouldn't think of. You don't have to have a ton of space or land to make this happen.
I'm still laughing at you saying a lot of people are struggling with grass.
It's true.
You don't have any.
Why
you
is
ripped
that
it
the
all
theme?
out with it.
Well,
Awesome.
yes, because
Absolutely.
you came to my yard and you saw the struggle was real, and you said, forget the grass, Tracy. Let's just interlock this. Let's make some really nice beds. But what's happening in my neighborhood is that people cannot grow the grass so it looks like the grass in the suburbs in our heads, right?
Absolutely.
It's not working out. So you can actually do something to make it into a meadow, and that involves actually killing the grass.
Killing the grass. Well,
kill the grass.
There's been so much focus over the last couple of years about being environmentally friendly, especially around grass care practices, but also around things like bringing back plants for pollinators, saving the monarch butterfly, you know, adding components for the birds, because we want to include our home in nature. It shouldn't stand separate to what's happening around us in the environment. And the lawn has sort of been on that, you know, the chopping block, so to speak, for a lot of Canadian homes. So I decided with this space that you just saw in the footage that I would take out all of the grass. And replace it with wildflowers.
Look at how he did it.
Yeah, it's not as easy as you may think.
This is how you have to do it. You actually have to suffocate it, you murderer.
I did. I
Look
suffocated.
at what you did.
I tarped the entire lawn. And the reason I did that was because I didn't want to spray pesticides. I didn't want to kill, or herbicides, and kill off the grass. I wanted to do it in a way that at least would reuse the roots and actually compost them into the soil. So a couple of things about doing tarp. If you're going to try this for your own space, first, it looks really ugly. So your neighbors are going to ask you what's going on. So, you know, try and do it in a time of year that it's less noticeable. Spring, you can kind of get away with it for a while right now. So if you're going to do it right now. Don't use a light tarp. A blue tarp like this, when I put it down, the grass was like, this is a greenhouse. We're doing awesome. It was the best looking grass I've ever seen. So that didn't work. Go with a dark and a heavy tarp so that no sunlight can get through. Because effectively what you're doing is you're depriving all of the grass from sunlight. That's what's going to kill it off. Okay. Then after the grass has died.
How long does it take?
About 4 to 6 weeks.
That long?
Yeah, because the sun has to beat down, heat up the tarp, cook the grass. So
it's got to be cooked.
Yeah, that's what it looks like after about 4 to 6 weeks.
Wow.
Okay, so not bad. Then I plowed the entire field. You could do it with a rototiller. I got a friend with a tractor, and we plowed it out. And then you're going to start choosing plants for your space. All right. There's a couple of amazing programs happening in Canada right now that I'm excited about. So the first one with Terra Greenhouses and the Canadian Federation of Wildlife, they're doing programs like this specifically promoting pollinators, birds, you know, bees, everything that you need in your yard for those types of animals. They're selling them in one handy little traveler.
A little kit.
Yeah, you're also seeing companies like General Mills, which kind of blew me away. Honey Nut Cheerios is partnered with, they're partnered.
Bring the bees back.
Bring the bees back. But they're partnering with Vessi Seeds, and they're doing seed programs local to you. And that's so important because you don't want to be planting seeds for an area that might work in one spot but not in your area. When we're looking at places like Vancouver or Calgary, there are indigenous plant material that you need to keep in that space. We have a big problem in Vancouver right now with things like English ivy. It's great in Ontario, but it is choking off everywhere in Vancouver, all of their wild ditches and around the forests. It's killing everything because it's smothering it. So you want to make sure that the plants you choose are for your neighborhood, for your proper area. And then you want to include things like grasses and flowers. It's not just all about pretty things. And I put in poppies just because I like poppies. But I did the research first to make sure that poppies wouldn't kind of take over. And I like the color. I wanted to make this beautiful. Thankfully, the bees like the poppies too.
They really do.
They
so it's working for you. You've got your beautiful meadow, as we saw in that piece of tape. What do you need to know about maintaining the meadow?
So the meadow isn't just seed and walk away. You're going to have to put a couple of years of effort into it to make sure you're pulling out all the things that you don't want. There will be some invasive grasses that will naturally get into the space. You have to pull them out. But I look at that as an opportunity. Every time I go in and I pull out a clump of grass, I have a perfect little seed pocket, and that's where I put new poppies or new something else, and I plant right there, and then I'm done. You're going to visit your meadow once a month for about an hour. Just spend some time and then you're done. First 3 years, after that, you don't have to touch it again.
So like, doesn't it just keep growing?
It will
Out
keep
of
growing.
control?
Yeah, it will keep growing. At the end of the year, you want to cut it down with a lawnmower or a string
okay.
trimmer, but that's how you're spreading the seeds.
Oh, I see.
Other thing you have to
Okay.
be really aware of, and before you go and do this, if you're doing it in an urban center, make sure there's a way to control the seed spread, whether it's a fence on each side between your neighbors or a cedar hedge, because those plants are designed to naturally spread via seeds. They will spread to everybody's yard, and we don't want to start an issue, a war in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So contain the seeds in a way that, you know, prevents them from being invasive, still
Okay.
provides lots of area for the bees, the birds, the monarch butterflies, but at the same time you can enjoy the space.
Lots to think about there.
Always.
I love that.